This is a brochure on our AR goals. Every 6 weeks, they need to meet an AR goal, and on the third week, they're going to have to meet 50% of their goal. They're implementing something new this year. They're not going to have AR celebrations every 6 weeks anymore. They're going to make it semester celebrations. And of course, these are the benefits of reading. There's several benefits that help the children read if they read 30 minutes every day. We do recommend that they check out 1 chapter book and 2 picture books every week. And they must reach
First, I want to
90%
thank you for being here tonight.
their AR goal.
It is
They must get 90s
57:30,
on
so
every
we
single
want to allow our
and above.
teachers to go home
Millionaire
and get some
reading.
rest and dinner
These are
and
some
be ready
tips
for
on how to
tomorrow.
reach millionaire.
Thank you again for coming, padres. Quiero
Every
dar las
6
gracias
weeks,
por
they
haber venido esta
also
noche.
need to
Ya
reach their AR
van
goal
a
in
ser
order
las
to
7:30.
become a millionaire.
Queremos
They have till the
que
first week
nuestros
of May,
maestros se vayan a casa
and
a sus familias, a descansar,
by
a
December,
cenar.
if they reach
Así es que de
500,000
nuevo
words,
les
that'll be great.
agradezco
We have
y
divided to
traigan
where
a
if
los
they
niños
read
mañana
4 to
temprano.
4,000
Gracias,
words
tengan
a
unas
week,
buenas noches.
they'll be able to reach millionaire by the due time. You can ask the teacher, the librarian for help. They need to read anytime they have free time. If they need to, they can come to the library. Anything at all, we are here to help. This is the Millionaire Wall of Fame, where we will put pictures of the kids with their word counts. Parents come and see this right away, and it is very noticeable. And we're expecting over 40 millionaires, so we're definitely going to have to make the papers and the pictures smaller. However, this is one of our main bulletin boards in the hallway. So we're counting the fundraising money from the water and from the snacks that we've been getting. And these are sets of 20, so that way we can put it, so we can turn it in to PTO and put it in our account for end of the year celebrations. Okay, sweetie, what did you need help with? You want a baby mouse book? What level do you need it at? To a 2.4.
Or 2.3 or 2.2.
Okay, so if there's no baby mouse, what else would you want to read? What other book would you want to read?
I think the books that at this level.
Okay, so but do you want a skinny book or a chapter book? Or
Chapter book.
You want a chapter book between 2.2 and a 2.4. And you like Baby Mouse. What else do you like?
I never read this up.
You never read other books? Okay.
I only read only one baby mouse book.
Only one Baby Mouse book and you like it. Okay. All right. Then we'll go find it. So I have glued and Velcroed these ribbons. They're for the kids' pictures when they meet their AR goal and word counts. And there's one for each class. There's the little red things on top, the little red papers, because we are waiting for the actual little dream catchers to come in that I ordered. This is here's 3rd, 4th, and 5th ribbons. Now what's really neat about these, it is also motivates parents because they come and they see it on parents' night, and when they come to pick up their kids and they start asking, how come my child's face isn't up their name? How come at the end they get a little boom in the last Velcro? They'll get a little sign that says boom, and that means their entire class is up there. And every week, every Friday, pictures are put up there and pictures are taken down if they haven't met. So it's really neat. The kids get motivated, the teachers get motivated. Right now we have nobody who's met yet. So this is something that's worked last year and it worked this year. Okay, so I'm shelving the chapter books. And I don't know my alphabet name. And out of place. Another one out of place. Good afternoon, guys. You here to check out books? Check in books? Okay, check them in. Remember to look at your name and make sure that that is your book under your name. Okay, and remember when you check out books, you have to put your AR log under here so your name can come, make sure your name comes out, and then check out the books. Okay, go ahead and put that on the shelf, right, on the cart. Check it in. Let's look at your name. Are you Juan Pablo Campos? Okay, awesome. Go ahead and put it on the cart and check out. Check them in. Where's Joseph? Joseph, you need to check in books, right, sweetie? Come over here. Bring your AR log. Don't forget, you need your AR log. Okay, put your AR log. Make sure your name's there. Okay, hold on. Let's check and make sure you don't have, why do you have a Spanish book? Do you have a Spanish book? Okay, we're going to have to look into that. Okay, and see, because it says that you checked it out on the 6th. So check it out. Hold on. It did not show up. Okay, try the other book first. Yes, do the AR log again. Okay, awesome. Now put your book. Okay, it says you have to overdue book, but we're going to look for that one. Yes. Click on the other one. Okay. Wait, which book was it? Sammy the Seal, Try the Jelly Bean. Oh, there it is. All right, you're all done. Thanks. Have a good day, Joseph. So this is our collection analysis.
Yes. You're browsing at the analysis
Yeah.
all together.
That's the analysis
This is
altogether.
with big books, AV, easy, everything.
So all our books come already shelf ready. They come in like this, and all we do is put a clear tape over it, or they come to where they need the dot for AR. For example, orange is 5th grade level, so we put the dot here and we put clear tape over it, which really is in here. Other than that, all of the books come shelf ready. And what are the AR? So we put the tape over it, and it's ready to go.
To upload your collection for analysis, click. Okay. Refresh it. Okay, so it's pending. Okay. So it'll take about 20-30 minutes before it all uploads, and then they give me the new results, the new analysis. Because
Okay, so
different
why do you
schools-
stick with Follett again?
I stick with Follett because of the fact that they guarantee their books. So if one gets damaged, the spine comes undone, or a couple of pages tear, all you have to do is save it. They don't require that you return the books. You can just send some pictures of them, and then they replace the titles for you.
And do you have to send the books in? The damaged
You
book?
can if you want, but everyone that I've spoken to, they really don't. I'm the only one that sends them in.
If not, they discard.
Right.
And that's for extremely damaged books, like
They don't even have to be extremely damaged. I mean, if you put them out there, and sometimes we'll tape them to mend them, but they come undone right away. So if we notice that quite a few pages are coming undone, we just call it in and they replace them. And that's what I love about Follett. Another person who does that is Greg Askew and Associates. They're real good about,
so
guaranteeing
the
their
two
books
to go
also.
with.
Those are the ones that I stick with. There's other vendors out there. An important thing to know about Follett, though, is their binding is what's guaranteed. So if you go with bound to stay bound, just remember that. Bound to stay bound through Follett are the ones that are guaranteed. So you just need to always make sure that you choose bound to stay bound on the books.
Okay, perfect. These are the digital, and this is where we
Yeah.
where we put in monies with everybody else, right?
For the schools that want to participate, because it's
How
not
many
mandatory.
schools is it, do you know?
No, but it's not mandatory.
But this is elementary only, or elementary and middle school and high school?
It's a combination. It is a combination.
So then we get more
Yes.
ebooks because of the fact that we all put our money together.
Exactly. So like right now we have a credit of $37,000.
That's all together.
And so that's what we're talking about. Yes. All
And so
together.
how many does every school get a different budget?
Yes. Based on your numbers, based on age, based on your student count, it's based on all of that.
And new schools? How does that work?
New schools, well, they have the best collection because they're going to have the newest books, the newest titles. But as far as the amount of books, they don't get a lot of books, but everything's new. So they're always going to be exemplary
Oh,
the
how
first
beautiful.
few years, yeah.
And since our school's in the 60s, 60 years old,
In fourth grade here,
we have a lot. Yeah,
Books.
but there are a lot of chapter books. I've noticed that because I
Yeah.
looked into it. Yeah, our ebook collection's pretty good. Okay, guys, so this is the newest technology for the libraries. Each library got 10 iPads to be able to use so that way we can use them for ebooks and other things, other activities we may have. So go ahead and turn on your iPad and type in the password 1234. Now we are going to go ahead and tap on where it says Safari. Now go ahead and type in www, oh look, oh yeah, www.ecisd. ECISD, yes, ECISD dot US. Click that, and then you're gonna put dot US. Go to the top where it says visit our schools, visit one of our schools. Scroll down to where it says Lee Elementary. Go down, Lee. Lee starts with what? Okay, click on it. Then we're gonna go, did you click on it? It may take a while. Did it go? Let's see, let's try it again. There we go. Okay, hold on one second. There you go. Okay, so now we're gonna go to where it says library. On top. On top, very good. And you click online resources. And you go down. Now, notice on the side, this is a way, so when you come in and we're out of computers, you can ask for an iPad. And look, we have the Tumble Book of the Day. So that's a book that changes every day. So if you want to come in and listen to it, you can. It plays and it gives you the words. You can also do learning.com. Remember learning.com, you all use your username and password from your AR. Good. You go down and we have storyline books. You all have seen those, I'm pretty sure, in your classroom. And then we have in the corner ebooks, so please click on that. In the corner where it says ebooks. Yes. Click on that. Did you click on ebooks? Now, this is where you can log in and you can put in your AR username and password. Click on login. Log in. Thank you, Brian. You put in your AR username and password. But do not save this password because then that means the next person that comes in, it's going to automatically upload and they're going to be able to use your username and password to check out photos. Now, but no, not now. And in search, you can type in whatever book, or what's easier, if you want just ebooks, I would click on, go down, or you know what, in between you search, go click ebooks, click ebooks. ebooks means the books are online. Audiobooks means you can listen to them. So on here they have some books that are audiobooks. Now these are all the ebooks that are found. So that's one way to look at ebooks. Another way is in search. For example, search. Okay, so try logging on again. Maybe type something in.
What is it? How do I log
Here's your name and password. So you click on the little person, click down, you're in. Let's type in Harry Potter.
Oh, I found it.
Click the first one. Okay, so notice it says found in digital, and it says all the books under there. So those are all the books that are online. Those are ebooks that you can check out at home. However, when you come to the library, say during lunch, you know what, Ms. Villarreal, I finished eating, can I come in and use the iPads? Sure, so you can use the iPads, go comfortable on the couches, and you can use them to read online. Just log in and do everything that I just showed you. You can even use these at home, meaning use this program, not the iPad. iPads are to stay in the library at all times. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have sent a training on audiobooks, the benefits, because I know many of us have been expressing our reservations on whether audiobooks are beneficial or if it's actually a quote-unquote cheating way of reading books. And you'll soon see that it's actually the complete opposite. Reading and listening are both great ways to learn. They actually engage children in reading with books differently than print. If you're a slow reader, it actually speeds it up. Audiobooks are also a better way to read books because of the reader's voice. There's animation. It helps with comprehension. It doesn't just read, but it actually acts. The voice reveals context just in print. For example, sarcasm. When you read and listen to an audiobook, you know how to pronounce every word. It helps those struggling readers and learners how to pronounce words. For example, harassment. It's harassment, not harassment. For young kids, especially, listening helps with comprehension and exceeds the reading comprehension. You know, we don't crawl before we walk and talk before we read. When you listen to audiobooks, it actually helps with vocabulary. The more words you listen to a context, and the more words you will learn. Students will learn. How audiobooks promote literacy. This is an infographic that I had found, and I thought it was really interesting. The single most important activity for building knowledge required for eventual success in reading is reading aloud to children. So our children do benefit from read alouds, which is an audiobook, but from us. It's not an audiobook like in a chapter book. Audiobooks increase reading accuracy by 52%. It improves comprehension by 76%. It actually improves and increases reading speed. It helps expand vocabulary, pronunciation, the other benefits. 85% of what we listen to, we actually learn, and it actually stays. It improves fluency. Test scores increase in 21%. So those 3rd through 5th graders, your struggling readers, I know for a fact. We have one student last year that we had actually listened to books. By the end of the year, she went from getting 30s and 40s on her STAR test, on her STAR benchmarks, to getting a 60 or 70 on the actual STAR test. So this helped her tremendously. And she didn't listen to books all year long. We started her off, and then after a while, we weaned her off of it. And she is doing phenomenal now. 2 second grade levels, it increases 2 grade levels, usually in comprehension and in reading level. It increases motivation by 67%, and 27% of K through 12 population are auditory learners. Okay, now we're going to go over the myths. A lot of myths that we hear about audiobooks, which are actually Like they said, myths, completely not true. It's cheating to listen to books instead of reading to them. I know many have heard this many times. Well, reading is actually taking in of the information. Whether you do it through your eyes or your ears, you're still collecting the information and you're still reading. Even esteemed authors and writing expert William Zissner says, people read with their ears, whether they know it or not. If my students use audiobooks, they won't be prepared to read in real life situations. Using audiobooks throughout the year will actually help build your students' access to content and vocabulary, and they will gain confidence along the way. These skills built through listening to audiobooks will help them progress with reading written text in every situation they might encounter. Students will never actually learn to read well if they listen to their books. Actually, research shows that hearing the text as they read it can actually boost comprehension. It also increases fluency, vocabulary, and decoding skills. Kids actually become better readers with audiobooks than without them. If students are listening to audiobooks, they can't highlight or take notes. If students are following along in traditional book, they can still highlight in text and take notes in the margins. If they were reading with a tablet, they can highlight and take notes in a digital copy. What I would suggest with this is, I know many times we have students listen to the book on YouTube, and I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll have them follow along in the book so they can write notes on stickies and things like that for the upper grades. People who read best by listening aren't as smart. Now, this is completely false. Like this says, all these names that are there, Alexander Graham Bell, Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, Steven Spielberg, Beethoven, and Steve Jobs all learned by listening. This is just a short list, and a lot of the people who learned by listening, who learned to read by listening, are famous thinkers and innovators. One student listening to an audiobook will distract the rest of the class. Research shows that everyone has better comprehension when they listen to audiobooks. So why just have one student do it? Have the whole class. I know one teacher who has, in the afternoon during her AR time, since if all her kids have met their AR goals, she will have them all get the chapter book and they will all listen to the book together. And it's really interesting to see because everybody's nose is in that book. Nobody is distracted or anything like that. They all become so enveloped in that book. It is really, really neat to see. Audiobooks actually raise reading scores. Reading is so critical to success. It's in writing, it's in math. Math problems are not just one word. Are not just math problems. You know, they're wordy, they're word problems. Some of the answer choices are written in word format. So, students who aren't fluent readers by 3rd grade, they will struggle with all 4th grade subjects and beyond. So these kids, if we do not get them to read by the time they are in 3rd grade, they are going to struggle for the rest of their lives or their educational lives. Audiobooks have a proven literacy tool to get students excited about and skilled at reading. Now, this is a problem within our entire nation. Only 32% of 4th grade students are proficient readers, guys. Only 32% actually read on level. Students who don't read by the 4th grade are 4 times more likely not to graduate from high school. And our ultimate goal is for them to graduate from high school and go to college. So doing this will definitely help. Now, these are the states that are taking action. 32 states and the District of Columbia have statutes in place to improve 3rd grade reading proficiency. Most of them require early assessment intervention, but 14 of the states require retention of students on a basis of reading proficiency. Notice, Texas is highlighted with intervention of struggling readers and with identification of struggling readers, but we really don't retain them. Now, here's when we go to our ELLs and our bilingual kids. The benefits of spoken sophisticated language. Students need to be good listeners in order to become good readers. Listening with decoding equals a proficient reader. Now, kids need to hear new words every year. 20 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, and 2 minutes a day. Look at the graph here. Listening to Fluent Reader helps me improve my reading. So many students have been seeing benefits from this. Now, what I'm going to show you is what I have seen a teacher do, and I asked her, I thought it was phenomenal. I had requested it for her, and she completely went along with it and ran with it. So I told her to go to youtube.com and to search, for example, I have a teacher reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And honestly, guys, for any book, all you need to go is on YouTube, write the name of the book and put read aloud at the end. And for example, say they're on chapter 2. So here it actually is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, The Vanishing Glass. So for some videos actually have
Nearly 10 years.
Sorry, it went off. Some videos actually have the words. What I like is for students to actually follow along in the book. So I really try to find the actual book rather than an ebook or anything like that. You can do an ebook if it's up to you, but it's easier to me for them to follow along in a book, so that way they can, if they want to write notes, if they have questions, if they want to stop, things like that, they know what page they're on. So, excuse me. Here it is. So what I have them do is I have them usually on an iPad, and I'll put it upside down. I've done this with a few students in 3rd grade, and I have put the iPad upside down, and I'll have them listen to the chapter while they follow along in the book. Now, you can also use this for picture books. For example, if I put The Bad Case of Stripes, read aloud. Now, I can easily have them follow along in the book. I can easily have them follow along in the book while this reads it to them and put it upside down.
A Bad Case of the Stripes by David Shannon.
Now, I know other ways for students to listen to books. We also have, if you go to click on resource logins, go to our ECISD website, come up here, click on our school. Go to library. This is our Tumble Book of the Day. This actually reads the book online. I'll show you right now. You click on it, it changes every single day. And see? And I'm just going to forward. See, so it reads it out loud, and it shows you the pictures, and the kids can follow along. That book changes every single day. Sometimes they're AR books, sometimes they're not, but either way, they're usually fun books. Another way is Storyline. Storyline books, they has actual celebrities read books out loud to them. And this is with the SAG. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the SAG Awards, the Screen Actor Guild. So this has them read it out loud to students.
Hi, everybody. Office, they checked in with the
They show the pictures and they read out loud. This doesn't have the words, however, they get to listen to it. These do not change daily. However, they do update them every now and then. I don't know specific because it doesn't say. But the kids can click on a book and listen to it. And they're really cute books. They're really neat. They're all levels. They go from 1st grade all the way to the 5th grade books. And many of them actually teach lessons. So they're actually fantastic for, theme, for characterization and things like that. So in the end, audiobooks actually are huge benefits, have so many benefits for students, and really it's a huge advantage. Granted, every student loves to be read aloud, so I should completely suggest and completely support read alouds and things like that. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask, and I will give this, you all have this so that way you could also show to parents, because I know some parents have come and asked questions about audiobooks thinking that they don't want their students to be listening to books all year. Thank you. This is what you do in order to get on the ebooks on Bullet. You're going to go to the ECISD website, right? At home you can do this. Then you go all the way down to Lee Elementary, because that's our school. And then you're going to go to library. Now, every day this book changes right here, our tumble book, okay? So our tumble book. So if you're like, oh, I don't know if that's an AR testing book, you can go over here, open, and type in AR book finder or finder, right? Click on the welcome, put student, submit, type in the word. For example, this was hide and seek. So I'm going to type in hide and seek. It has to be exact, guys. So hide and seek. So I'm looking for hide and seek. Look for that picture. I do not see hide and seek here. Do any of you see it?
No.
So that means it is not, now there's 7 pages. Oh. So if I really want to get down to the nitty gritty, I can tap it. Remember, Tumble Book changes every day, even on weekends. It's there even on weekends by Aaron Zevi. So I'm going to go over here, advanced search, and I'm going to type in hide and seek by Aaron Zevi, the author. No results found. So is it an AR testing book?
No.
No. Okay, now I can still listen to it for fun. That's possible. Storyline here are the books that we listen to. For example, right there that I have the Enemy Pie that you all are going to listen to today. Now back to what I was saying. To get to our eFollett, to where you all can look at ebooks on home. So you click on that. Did you see how I scrolled all the way down to where it says ebooks? Click on it. See, it says students and staff get 24/7 ebook access. That means all the time. So at home, Mom, can I borrow your phone? Log on. Then it'll say log on here. We already logged.
Can I use the phone?
You can use the phone at home. You can log on to this if your mom has Wi-Fi or email. Or
Computers?
so you log in, and for example, Brian, 163 706, and then password is 070508. So then you put in your AR, your ID for AR, and your birthday. Click no. So then in here, these are books right here that have been added. These are popular titles. Now, down here it says ebooks. These are audiobooks, books you can listen to. So here I'm going to type in, for example, Albie's.
First word.
No, let's look at, ooh, you know what? Let's look at Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Look at that. It's in books and it's in what?
Ebook.
So I can click ebook and I can check it out to where it's in my account. So that way if I log on tomorrow, it's automatically there. Or I can open it right now to preview it, to read a little bit of it. And so it's online all the time. So I go next. Yes, it's 293 word, 239. So then I can easily start reading it. You got it? Here, I can make table of contents. I can read with a parent. Okay, I can make those of us who have problems seeing. I can increase to make it bigger. I can decrease to make it smaller. Okay, I can play with the color.
Ooh, I like
You are not going to play with the color right now.
Oh.
Okay? These are for people who have problems seeing. It's too bright. It's sometimes my phone screen is too bright, so
Yes.
that doesn't help. So, do you understand what we can do here?
Yes.
Amazing, amazing resource. You guys can use this at home anytime, weekends, night, on a trip, whatever. So she turns it into her teacher and just says, there. And the teacher says, oh my gosh, a polar bear on snow. And she looks at it, she goes, I didn't draw anything. Well, just do something. So she just draws a dot on there. And so the teacher says, okay, sign your name at the bottom. So she writes her name on the bottom and she thinks, whatever. The next day she comes to school and the picture of the dot is framed in a gold squiggly frame. So she looks and she goes, hey, I can do tons of dots. So she draws all these dots in different types of ways. And at the end, she does a whole gallery and all these people come to see all her dots, and this is at a school. And this little boy walks in and he sees the dots and he says, oh my gosh, your art is so cool. And she goes, I can't even draw a straight line. So she says, well, show me. And so he draws a line and it talks about how when he's drawing, his arms like this. And she says, okay, sign the bottom. And that's where it ends. So I know the dot is a 1 point something. I'm telling you right now, it's a first grade level book. However, on the little brochure that I gave you all, I put different ways. The theme of the book is make your mark. So meaning, don't be afraid. You know, everybody's little talent means something. You know, whether you do a little something, for example, her was just a dot, and she thought it was nothing. Well, in the book, it shows all the different ways her dot was art. So I put 3 different things that, I mean, if you look on Pinterest, there's a million things, but 3 different things that the lower grades can do. And then in between all the different ways, I mean, this lady, there's a picture where this lady drew dots on transparencies, and she put them on the window. We don't have windows. But another one did it on paper plates. One made a tree, and she put all the dots. So like her dot created one masterpiece. They gave away dots. They took pictures with dots. This one I thought of Maldonado because Maldonado's all fancy. They drew a dot on a paper and then they put 3D things on top of it and they hung them on the wall. I'm not that fancy. But in this one, there's one where she did a hanger from the ceiling and strings with the dots on them, all the different dots. So kind of like, you know, all their marks, leave your mark. Another one was where they got the kids' thumbs and they put paint on them. You don't have to use paint. You could also color it with a marker. Put their thumbprint and they sign it and it says make your mark on them. I know upper grades because last year I used the dot. And I actually went over in the back, that's where I put for the 3rd through 5th. I actually did theme with them. What did we learn from it? I did a lot of inferencing. What would have happened if the teacher would have said, oh, that's nothing, do it again, that's not good enough. You know, what would have happened if the teacher got it and threw it away? What do you think is gonna happen in the future? What do you predict is gonna happen? Characteristics. How did the girl's attitude change from the beginning towards the end? What was her character? What was the teacher's characteristics? There's another book, a sister book called Ish, and that also deals with art, and where the little boy doesn't think it's good enough, and the sister, he crumples up all these papers. It's a really cute book. In the front, I put where you can sign up to be a part of International Dot Day, and it actually has, I signed up Laura, sorry. So you already signed up, ma'am. On the website, once you get on there and log on, there's supposed to be a video here, but of course it didn't show up. And if you click on it, it's 4 minutes long, and it explains what International Dot Day and what the kids do and things like that, because at other schools, it's enormous. Districts, it's enormous. The kids come in polka dots and, you know, all these things. So I'm hoping in the future That does happen. And on the bottom, I shared the YouTube read alouds for Ish and Dot. Ish and Dot, you can also do compare and contrast just on a big paper. So those are different ways to implement the Dot. It's really easy. It should take 10, 15 minutes. The story is 4 minutes long. I looked it up. My 5th graders, you're probably going to have to do something else because they already decorated a Dot last year and that was it. So they know about the story. What I did want to show you was, you all brought your iPads because you have this. So if you have your kids color their Dot on here and you go on your iPad and download Quiver Vision, it's free. Quiver Vision. What Quiver Vision does is it turns art, by the way, if you go to quivervision.com, quivervision.com has a bunch of these where they can color it like butterflies and things like that. There's a Patricia Polacco book, it's called The Butterfly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go print out a butterfly, and one of my centers is when you finish analyzing the book, here, color it, you know, to leave them quiet. And it actually turns your art into 3D. So you press the butterfly, and you cannot see it, of course, but it turns your circle 3D. I don't know, can you do it up there? Will it show up there? It turns your Dot 3D. No, it's really Quiver. Kids will be fascinated. You'll look like a magician. Not the banana kind, but the real kind. Just kidding about it.
3D? Just press Quiver, it comes out. Is that one? The 3D coloring?
No, I saw it yesterday.
If you download it, why don't you extend the head for the, maybe?
And then put your iPad under the.
Can't really see it. So let me go around. Let me show you all. It's really, really cool. Quiver Vision, yes. So you have to get some of the. Look. So it turns your Dot. It looks even better if they color with marker or paint or anything else. Or you can stick your hand under it. We are adding students manually.
I'm gonna add students, yes. I can never do that, but I do it so that I can pretend that kinder teachers are students so that they can test as students for their class. You know what I mean?
Yes. And you have to do this every year, right?
Mm-hmm. There she is. So all I have to do is copy hers. So this would be Dania, Dahlia. Should be STU. Dahlia.Dania. There we go. Alright. So then the other teacher, her name is Bias.
Sylvia.
Sylvia. Like this with a wire on.
Mm-hmm. Away.
Sylvia. And
I
should
believe.
be STU. Should be S.Bias. There we go. I just needed a refresher so that. So, users. I'm gonna add a student. So I'm adding this. Dania. Her username is going to be stu-d.dania. Oops.
Now next year in first grade, do you have to do this to every student or it's automatic?
No, for students I don't do it.
So when they come in from
Students
kinder
are
to
done through
first?
admin.
Okay.
Yeah. Every year there's a rollover. I'm guessing that they passed, you know what I mean? And
So
that's
from
what we
kinder
wait
to
for.
first, they automatically
There's
do
a
it. You
roll.
don't have to do it. Awesome.
But it takes a lot of time. Remember,
them.
we were waiting for them to get tested.
Yes.
To confirm.
Before, did y'all ever have to do it
Mm-hmm.
manually? Really, for each student?
Mhm.
How long did that take?
Forever. Kinder, she's a female. Okay, she's in kinder.
At other districts, can kinder test like kinder kids?
Maybe. Yeah, probably. If they purchase a license, yes. All right. This next one is